Good morning, everybody, and warm welcome to this interaction session with the alumni at IMT Hyderabad. First of all, my hearty congratulations to all those students who are joining the session. It simply means that you guys are interested in taking an informed decision, and therefore we connected and requested our alumni, who are our true brand ambassadors, to share their journey or to share their perspectives as a student and life after campus. So what we will do is I'll introduce you to the three alumni who have joined the session today, and then ask them to give a brief about the work they are doing. And then 10 minutes into the session, you can start posting your questions in the chat, and then we will take up the questions, and then the alumni will be sharing their views on those questions, right? So this is what we intend to do as far as the session is concerned. Let me first start by introducing our alumni who have joined the session. And this is a random order in which I am introducing, so do not attach any meaning to this. Okay. So let me first introduce you Ridhima Kumar. Ridhima, if you could just say hello to the participants.
Yeah, so hi guys, and welcome to the webinar.
Right. So Ridhima is co-founder at Arima Labs. This she co-founded in the year June 2019. And I really like the line which her company or brand carries: decoding the past and encoding the future. Ridhima has expertise of delivering 60 plus, I repeat 60 plus big tickets end-to-end marketing mix modeling and machine learning projects. At Arima Labs, she specializes again in marketing mix modeling and digital analytics, machine learning. Before incubating or before starting the enterprise, she was a lead data scientist at digital tech at Collins Aerospace. And then she was a marketing mix modeling consultant or a project manager at Rainman Consulting Private Limited. Prior to joining IMT Hyderabad in the year 2012-14 batch, Ridhima had completed her Bachelor's of Engineering in Electrical and Electronics from Guru Govind Singh Indraprastha University. Welcome Ridhima to the session. Then we have Mr. Amit Gunjan. Amit is Assistant Vice President Digital Strategy and Performance at Canara HSBC Oriental Bank of Commerce Life Insurance. Amit started his career with SBI Life Insurance. I'm talking about his career after his management. Otherwise also Amit had some experience. So Amit started his career after graduating from IMT Hyderabad with SBI Life Insurance as Assistant Manager Business Strategy. Amit has excellent knowledge of business strategy, corporate planning and digital transformation. And more importantly, Amit is a go-to person. Anybody having any concern, any issue, anything, I mean, they can always reach out to Amit, and Amit is always there for them. And Amit, as a guy who's climbing the corporate ladder very fast, has got expertise in corporate planning and digital transformation. Prior to becoming a student in the 13-15 batch, Amit had completed his BTech from Acharya Institute of Technology, Bangalore. Incidentally, Amit is a student from, has completed his 10th class from Bokaro. I hope you know that Bokaro has got the steel plant and has got its own very unique existence. It's a very integrated township. So he comes from Bokaro. So he's a typical big small town boy who is making big in big cities. Welcome Amit to the session.
Thank you, sir, and welcome everyone to this time, a day when we wanted to definitely interact with you guys. So looking forward to the session and your questions. Thank you, sir, for the introduction.
And then we have Rahul Agarwal. So Rahul Agarwal is the lead head. Morning, Rahul. Rahul is the lead HR at Vinjo, where he is building and scaling human resources. I think there cannot be a more critical resource than this. And the pandemic has proved this beyond doubt. I really like this particular line where he says he is happiness resource with a pinch of tech. And jack of most HR traits and a human with an exclamation mark. A very interesting and very excellent way of presenting himself. Prior to joining Vinjo, he was the implementation manager at Darwin Box, And before that, he had been working as manager HR at Canara HSBC Oriental Bank of Commerce Life Insurance Company. And then before that, he was manager at Arvind Limited. I think this must be Arvind Mills Limited, right, Rahul?
As Arvind Limited now.
Okay.
So Arvind Mills is something in the 90s, wherein we have all bought in their jeans, rough and tough and all in the 90s, right? All 90s kids will remember this, right? So now it's Arvind Limited.
90s kids, rough and tough jeans. Akshay Kumar, remember very well. Rahul is a commerce graduate who joined for his PGDM program at IMT in the 13-15 batch. And Rahul was a gold medalist with a CGPA of 9.74. So welcome Rahul to this session. Now what we'll do is I'll first request the alumni to share, maybe introduce themselves to the audience by sharing what is their current profile and what they're doing there. And then we'll go ahead with this interaction. So maybe I can first start with Ridhima. Ridhima, if you could just let the audience know what you have been doing and how has been the journey after IMT Hyderabad.
Sure, sir. Yes, so thanks you, sir, for the great introduction, and welcome again to, all of you guys. I'm looking forward to interact with you. So a bit of a background about myself and my company. So I'm a co-founder at Arima Labs, and we're a data science firm which specializes in, applying machine learning and statistics techniques innovatively to various marketing problems. And as a co-founder of a bootstrap, startup, I don't wear multiple hats, and I have to perform multiple roles. That's how my day-to-day activity looks like. So it ranges from being the chief data scientist, where I interact with the team, then design algorithms with them, to a chief marketing officer, where I have to create marketing collaterals and branding pitches for my organization, to that of a salesperson, where I have to pitch in my solutions and products to our existing clients and to new potential customers. So that is a bit of an introduction about what Arima Lab does and what I do as a part of Arima Labs.
Okay, Ridhima, just one more point. Data science and data scientists. So we are hearing a lot about this, and everybody is trying to. It has become the new Java. Like I remember when I was of your age trying to make my career, everybody wanted to do something in Java. Whether they understood, they did not understood. So keeping that in mind, would you like to give some gyan ki bhai, who is cut out to have a great career in data science or as a data scientist?
Sure, sir. So what I personally, think is that people who are curious to learn and they're willing to learn new things are, cut out for this kind of role. They might come from a different, background, but still, if you have the willingness to learn, you can get into a data science career. And of course, most people attach data science only with, algorithm development, coding. But I would also like to add, a couple of other points. So, for example, the domain expertise also matters a lot. It depends on where you're applying the solutions. At the end of the day, what we are doing is we're trying to solve these solutions for enterprises and helping the brands improve marketing ROI. So we really need to understand the talk of the CMO. We need to understand what are they looking for in the solutions and what is the expertise these domain experts come in with that. So I think that's really important to focus on domain knowledge. And of course, as a new person coming out to a data science field, you need to really have a good statistical knowledge, and maybe if some of you are interested in coding, you can pick up that as well.
Okay, so we'll come back to you because I'm sure there must be questions on with what kind of background are we ideally cut out to make a great career in business analytics and more importantly as a data scientist. Amit, how about your job and what do you do? And kindly tell us about this CSPO. I saw that on your LinkedIn. So what is this CSPO and what does it mean? I mean, what do you do?
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction. You have already made a brief introduction, but let me detail it out. So I'm a BTech plus MBA graduate, and right now currently working in Canara HSBC. So before that, prior, as sir told, once I moved out from college, I actually joined SBI Life in the business strategy function, where my larger role was into the corporate strategy. So the time when I joined SBI Life, company was into a different scenario. So they had to quickly adapt to a digital adoption. The wave of digital had just started in 2014-15, and the company was looking forward to make its non-digital systems to a digital one. So we have to quickly get into some consulting organization and get the whole next few years pathway done. So that was a very key assignment for me. From there, I kick-started my life, the main corporate life post MBA. And from there, I never looked back. So I had got a lot of good opportunities over there. SBI Life went into IPO in 2017. I was the one who actually spearheaded the 10-year financial planning, the 10 to 15-year financial planning, which is a lot of things. Actually, I don't want to get into much more detail because otherwise it will be a theoretical sessions. So in IPO, a lot of things happen in the background. Aside the investment bankers, which they do the work. In the company side also, there are a few guys who actually work closely with the investment banking firm when IPO hits for any company. So that time I was the person who actually worked day in, day out for making that company listed. And after that, I got a very good golden opportunity to work with a MD and CEO of the current company which I'm currently working into, that is Canara HSBC. That's a joint venture between Canara and HSBC. So I have been into life insurance vertical right from the day one when I joined SBI Life. So Canara HSBC is also a life insurance company. There I started with working into CEO office. I was day in, day out working with MDCO, where all the strategic initiative has to be driven across the company. And so basically an MDCO gets what not file in his day-to-day life. And as my core job area, I had to review all the strategy files, be it a board meeting and whatnot. So that was my day-to-day life, where that was basically I can say that was a game changer for me in the whole corporate life, because when I started working to him, I realized that how MDCO work, because it's just not 9 to 5 for him. It's like every day for him, because he's running, like say, he always say that I'm running a 5,000 family. We are a 5,000 employee company. So he always say that I have to run 5,000 families. So in order to run that, I have to keep working day in, day out. And obviously being a right hand to him, I had also sleepless nights along with him. But definitely that was a time when I learned each and everything, be it a compliance, risk, actuaries, every other department, HR. I closely worked with Rahul the time when he was there at Canada. Once he will be there, he will be there. Yeah, so he'll be explaining that. So at that time was the one when I actually worked out day in, day out to learn every other aspects of the corporate. So I spent 3 years in that particular role, and after that, where my interest lies, I moved into digital. So strategic business unit, what we call as a digital SBU, got started in our company, where we also had a thought of that, like, why not we should launch our whole digital thing the way all the companies are doing it up. So that we kickstarted, and I was quite interested in that. So I just told my MDCO that I wanted to move in that particular department. So that is how where I moved into this particular role. And last 2 years, I've been working with a digital transformation role, where automating a lot of digital thing and and moving the digital sales to Libound. So I'm very quietly excited to say that just now we have finished the year end and we have posted a 70+% of growth. So this is a mammoth growth. We started from zero, and now we are almost making 100 crore channels. So I'm quite happy to do all such things. So basically, in a nutshell, I can say that so my whole experience, the last 8 years of experience, has been encompassing into the strategy consulting side and the digital line of business. That's all for me.
Right. So, I mean, a lot of very interesting stuff, Amit.
And sorry, I missed your question. Sorry, sir. So to CSPO thing. So when you asked me that what is CSPO, so that is basically a certified Scrum product owner. So when in the digital side, so you have to make a lot of digital assets. So we call it a digital product. So in order to make a digital product, you have to make different methodology to run with. Be like SDLC is one of the methodology. Agile is one of the methodology, which is right now in practice. So in Agile, there are processes like Scrum. So a product owner is basically design the product in an Agile fashion, and there are a lot of integrities that particular person has to do it. So that is one certification which I have to do. Once you do that certification, so you can put it as a CSPO certified guy, and you are authorized to develop more of a digital products, which is now very much in market demand. So I keep on doing a lot of certifications. Recently was AM certifications, and earlier was CSPO, and before that I had also worked on design thinking. So that is also one of the area which a lot of corporates are now getting into.
Okay. So very interesting stuff. But the one interesting stuff I'll come back to you is what it takes to become the right hand of the CEO. Because people like to become the right hand, and then this concept of shadow the CEO. I mean, now good business schools are starting the concept of shadow the CEO. ISB always had. IMT Hyderabad has also started IM2P, Industry Mentor Mentee program, where a student is attached to a senior corporate functionary. But more importantly, what it takes to become the right hand, and if at all there is a left hand to the CEO. Okay, right, Rahul. Just tell us what you do, Rahul, as an HR manager, and more importantly, I'm very happy, Rahul, that you are an HR guy, because even today people have this particular thought process ki girls have to only take up HR and boys are only cut out to do marketing. So Rahul, can you just throw some light and your experience on that?
Professor, thanks for the introduction and welcome, guys. I hope you're making a right choice, that you have taken a right step in the right direction of your career choices, right? To stay with IMT Hyderabad. Just to start with my journey, 13-15 was the batch when me, Gunjan were part of, right? We all started the journey on 15th of June, as far as I remember. The first day, obviously, a green campus with middle of nowhere, right? Nearby the airport. So we were all coming in from different towns, small cities, right? We haven't seen Hyderabad it was for the first time. The food obviously was different, but yes, you will get attached to the taste buds. We can talk about it a little later on those fronts. Talking about HR, how I got into HR. So my my interactions basically since as a child was more towards this profession because of my dad's working in a government PSC. So I was always into this kind of stuff wherein I was interacting with the senior folks in my life till I graduated. So I always had that knack that yes, I will get into HR, but my majors and the minors in IMT Hyderabad was HR and marketing. So that's how I graduated and was one of the gold medalists of the batch. Then I started my career with IBM. IBM, I was into a comp and ben role, but not for India, but for a global mobility team. Global mobility, just to throw a very little light because it's a very boring concept, but somebody who is in one company and traveling to another country, right? So instead of having a long term or a transfer completely, you send them on a short term assignment or a long term assignment, and that's how you become a part of a global mobility program wherein your entire PF, your social security, your compensation, double taxation, this is all catered through a one entity like Global Mobility. These are your HR guys who specializes in the immigration, your taxation, and they are also licensing with the legal firms. Let's say EY and IBM, Infosys for the consulting part of how the double taxation needs to be calculated, because there is a lot of there are treaties signed between the governments wherein you can pass on that benefit to the organization. So that was primarily my role with IBM. Then I moved to Urban Limited. That was a fashion to retail kind of a textile giant. All your brands like Gap, Gant, Nautica, Arrow, US Polo, this is something which belonged to Urban, again, as a licensee or a sole owner. So I've been with the brand rough and tough in your childhood, right? Your parents would have wore that jeans, a denim by Akshay Kumar. So this is something wherein I worked. It was a completely different domain, but sticking to my roots of HR. I grew there from a senior executive to a managerial level, handled three of the different domains, one into textile, retail textile, wherein we started the brand True Blue with Sachin Tendulkar. It's live right now. You would see stores if you're from Bangalore, you will see those stores in Bangalore, right in Mumbai, Phoenix Market City, in again Bangalore, Phoenix Market City, somewhere you will find True Blue, and which I'm proud of starting that particular brand and starting the organization with those people who made that brand possible with Sachin. Uh, After I moved from Urban, I joined Canva HSBC, and because fortunately, uh, being part of the alumni group, being part of this IMT Hyderabad, I was in constant touch with Amit Gunjan as well. So, right, he referred me. He was the employee who referred me in Canada HSBC into the HR stream, right? We have both worked together for 2 years. I've seen him grow, right? From a manager to an AVP. And when the digital was starting, I was taking care of the digital hiring. So yes, the journey has been fantastic. This is a life insurance firm, and Amit was obviously in the strategy and the digital space. I was again back into the HR hiring for those for 5,500 employees, which Anuj is proud of, right? All the HR analytics piece, I was taking care of the HR MGs for the organization. So this was again a primary role, being a HR generalist for Canada HSBC. Then for the first time in my career, I took that choice. COVID was happening, but I was somewhere I felt that I need to try something new. So that's how I got into Darwinbox. It's a unicorn now. It's a India's or the Asia's largest HRMS SaaS-based platform. I had implemented Darwinbox in 2017 with Arvind. I was part the front line for implementing that project to bring in HRMS. So this was the first time wherein I was invited to be a part of Darwinbox and to lead their projects, but onto the other side of the table. So this time I was interacting with the HR folks of the organization, getting them implemented, giving them the best practices as per my experience and how it fits into HR for them. Again, leading one of the largest projects for Darwinbox, which was Vedanta's implementation, which is still ongoing right now. Then suddenly, last month, I would say it's been a month now that I'm with Winzo and leading the entire HR vertical for them. Winzo is India's largest social gaming and entertainment platform. We recently onboarded Mahendra Singh Dhoni as a national brand ambassador. We are the proud sponsors for KKR team this IPL season. If you are into cricket or IPL, right, you would be seeing Winzo on the core jerseys. So this is somewhere we have invested and we are proud of. In terms of my role being into HR, so yes, I am building the entire team from right from scratch. We are a 150 team right now, wherein we, as a philosophy, we are hiring from the top tier one colleges of India, both on tech and non-tech side. Again, the creme de la creme. In terms of tech, we are primarily focused in terms of hiring from IITs, NITs, BIT. And on the non-tech side, IMT. So again, from an alumni, I would say that we have three people from IMTG campus 2020 pass out, right? Myself being one of them. Again, I am also in talks with a couple of your alumni, your would-be alumni, right? And hopefully in future too. So that's in plan. So this is the kind of hiring that I'm part of and doing for the team, right? Again, in terms of the digital readiness for this startup, yes, I'm working at the back, right? Again, bringing in a lot of digital processes, how to automate them because the company never really had an HR folk, right? So this is how I'm building that and scaling that organization with the help of professionals like yourselves who will be future ready in a couple of years. Uh, anything, Dhananjay sir, you would like me to cover? I believe my story was a little boring, but I hope I was able to answer some of them. Yeah.
No, 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 it was not boring. Now I understand why you say HR jack of all trades with with a touch of human and all. So you have been traversing most of the facets of HR. So interesting to hear. And I mean, what I liked, ये जो अभी आपने अपना introduction दिया, the mutual admiration, professional mutual admiration that you guys have. It's gone beyond कि Amit and Rahul were batchmates or Ridhima was from the same campus. It's that mutual admiration which has come because of the professional things that you guys have achieved or realized over the period of time. Okay, now having discussed about your current work, let me take you to completely different world. So let me ask this first. Start by with Ridhima. Ridhima, you remember your first day on campus?
Yeah, sir, I do remember, my first day at campus. I think like most students have a, mixed set of emotions when they're entering into college life. And it's like usually, people are excited, and I was also, a bit excited. I was, hoping for the best things to be available. And I wanted to prove myself and wanted to extract the maximum out of the great opportunity which I had been provided. And not only that, I was a bit anxious also. I was wondering what kind of people I'll meet up, how will be the atmosphere, whether I'll be able to fit in. I was from Delhi, and as Rahul also told that, it's a new city for everybody, Hyderabad, and I'd never been there. It was completely in wilderness, the whole college. But yeah, I still remember, the first day. From my personal experience, I can tell you that the people whom I, spoke to the most or befriended right on the first day, those people are still in touch with me and they are like still really good friends even after 10 years. So yeah, one advice, I would like to give to, all the young student is, be open to networking, even if you're introverts, you do not want to talk, but just be, open-minded and try to interact with people. And of course, IMT is a place where, people from different backgrounds, different parts of the country got an opportunity to join. So, when I interacted with so many students, it actually, broadens your horizon, it expands your thinking, it gives you a new perspective. Not only at a professional level, but also at a personal level.
Okay, interesting. So before I move on to Amit, let me also inform the participants. Guys, now you can start posting your queries. If you have any that Amit, Rahul or Ridhima, you would like them to respond. So you can post those queries or questions in the chat in terms of campus life, their experiences, program offering and all that. Okay. Amit, you remember your first day on campus and what was it? Who did you meet? And anything that you would like to share.
Right, so the day one was always important. Like Ridhima said, the day one friends are always together. So I think the guys like I met Prakhar on the day one itself because we had been connecting before and itself. So there are a few guys in 13-15 batch the day one when I arrived into the campus and we started. So I love to do network. So this is how I would say definitely I would give a recommendation to also to all the budding guys that please do go and do the networking. So this is one thing which I usually love to. So hence I started meeting all the guys and introducing myself and getting introduced from themselves. And then I wanted to visit the campus in detail, look out for the library. Few things which I always love is reading books and seeing that what all facilities are there for me. So I had a very good campus walk and all. And then definitely I wanted to see. My whole curiosity was that what will be next. So I quickly hopped into the placement side and although the notice board. So I wanted to understand that if there is something which, so I definitely on the day one and day two itself, I just hopped in. I didn't get into very detailed one, but definitely I just started looking out in detail few things. So day one was quite exciting. I met a lot of friends and which are right now still in touch. So I'm very happy that we all are connected the way as you can already see that Rahul is here. Yesterday also we have a session along with my friends. So yes, those friendship are will be selling out throughout in your life, and we all are still connected. And definitely that was a something day which I always cherish, and I really wish that it can come again and again.
Rahul, how was your first day? And let me ask this question also to you. Did you get the hostel room of your choice or it was allocated to you?
We had a fight. Maybe we were told that on the corridors, this is the corridor, this is the building. I believe the seniors were not there that time when we had enter, right, Amit?
Yeah, they would not be there.
Yeah,
Seniors would not be there.
Yes, was not there.
Yes. So I believe we were just told that this is the hostel, first floor. You can go to the first floor, 13A1, as far as I remember my ID, right? So we had a fight that I'll take the corner room, I'll take this room.
Exactly.
This has a better view, right? The other hostel in front of my window, right? So this is the kind of fight which happened. It was a very candid fight, I would say, not a fight, but first day, like I said, guys, and even Amit mentioned, just to build on the same, this is the day when you will meet your true friends, the people who will be in touch with you for the rest of the lives, right? I met some of them, and they are still in touch. Be it any situation, through rough or through happiness, they have been straight true to their words or to the friendships, right? Uh, Me, Gunjan, again, although we didn't meet on the first day, but still we are in touch, right? So this is not just about the first day, but the kind of interaction, the kind of connections that you make within IMT Hyderabad, within IMT alumni, and even on your social networking. So do not miss out on that. Stay in touch with your professors, right? Even though me and Dhananjay sir were not in touch, but me, Pawan sir, and Gunjan, we have met quite a few times in Gurgaon. Me, Shabnam ma'am, we have been in touch. Tumpa Day. So this is the kind of relationships as a HR person or as a human, I would say, please do not miss out on those. Even if you are shy, please take a step. It's not going to cost anyone. And even in the COVID times, this human element, I believe, was the most important one. When we lost lives of our near and dear ones and we were not in touch, we felt betrayed to ourselves that why we were not in touch because of those silly things. He said something to me a couple of years back. So, right. So don't miss out on those feelings, those emotions. Try to network wherever you are. Again, on social media, like I said, they will help you a lot in your career and your lives.
Right. So, Rahul, now the candid fights would not take place because we allocate the hostel rooms and it is randomly allocated. So, nobody will probably get the corner room or the not the corner room. Randomly, they are given allocated, chits are picked and they are allocated. And we don't change, we don't entertain any change whatsoever. And interestingly, I think IMT Hyderabad probably will be one among so many campuses where students get single occupancy accommodation. I'll just share this particular, anecdote with you. I think maybe 3 years back, when COVID was not there, for admission duty, students from our campus went to Ghaziabad, and they had to stay on the hostel, in the hostel, and they were like, "Sir, ये hostel नहीं है sir, यहाँ तो एक रूम में 3 लोगों को रहना पड़ रहा है." So I was like, भाई ऐसे ही हॉस्टल मिलता है, आपको हैदराबाद में लग्जरी मिला हुआ है, सो एंजॉय इट. नहीं सर, हम हॉस्टल में रहेंगे तो they were finding it very difficult to adjust to that, so we had to then request them to put them in the guest house, and then they were part of the process there. Okay, I see more often than not students ask us this question, sir, I have been allocated PGDM or I have been given PGDM marketing, I would like to shift to finance, or I like to shift from PGDM finance to PGDM. And what we tell the student at this point of time is, do not rush. First join the program, spend some time on the campus, and I'm sure your things will change more, or you will start getting true picture of what happens in a program. So should they also follow the same approach, that when they come to campus, let them come with an open mind and then think of specializations and electives as they go ahead in the program? What's your thought on this? Maybe we can start with Rahul first and then go to Ridhima, followed by Amit.
Oh, like I mentioned, I had a clarity in my mind when I had joined the IMT Hyderabad, right? So that I will get into HR, but I would also want to learn marketing and all. Uh, but as a student, as a fresher, if you are coming with a clean slate, you will be imparted with the knowledge of every field in your first year. You will be going through data, you will be going through finance, you will be going through marketing, HR, and other streams which are ongoing right now, right? You have 1 year to make up your mind. You will be interacting with the industry leaders. You will be having multiple sessions as part of IMT's curriculum that we have been part of, wherein there is a lot of industry sessions taken care of. So you will have ample opportunity to decide wherein you want to be. As per your initial thoughts, where you feel that, yes, I want to make a career, try to join in those clubs as well, which are prevalent on the campus. If you feel that, yes, I want to be part of marketing, you can be part of Marketers, right? You will get to know more about marketing. But later on, you always have the last year wherein you can change, and you do have the internship time wherein you can decide, yes, now I have decided, now I don't want to go to marketing, but I would like to pursue into finance now, right? So second year is something wherein you can select those electives. Again, in the first year, you have you have the leeway to select electives of your choice. But guys, you have ample enough time. You have great teachers to guide you in the right direction. You have the business interactions wherein you can choose the field of your choice, wherein you can excel faster.
Okay, Ridhima, what was the program offered to you, and did you continue in that or did you change?
Yeah, so from my personal experience, I'd applied for PGDM marketing
Okay.
because I was interested in building a career in marketing, but I wanted a combination of math and marketing, something like that. As a kid, I was always fond of mathematics, and I wanted to be in a career where I could apply both maths and marketing, the two fields which I really love the most. So I applied for marketing, and then over the period of 1 year, I realized that there are different analytics courses which would be offered in the second year. So I actually changed my specialization from PGDM marketing to PGDM general, so that I could opt for some analytics courses. So my advice to students would be that you can stick to the specialization which you're opted in for, and then wait for a year and explore different options, different subjects, and then you'll get a better idea of where you want to be in, which career you want to go into. So, for example, within 2 years itself, there could be new subjects coming up. Like in our case, data science was becoming a new hype during those times. I mean, it wasn't called data science back then. We used to call it just analytics, marketing analytics or financial analytics. But those analytics courses, which I ended up taking as a part of my PGD in general, specialization, really helped me, get a background of what exactly people do in analytics stream.
So guys, there's a very interesting point which you guys, if you have heard, Ridhima, you should have noted. She loved mathematics. So data science, mathematics, there is a connect. And I would add statistics as well. So though people may say ki no, any graduate can do or have a career in data science, I believe if you do not have a strong background in mathematics and you do not love statistics, it will become difficult for you to do really well in business analytics. Okay, Amit, what was your experience? I mean, what is your experience? What was offered to you, and how did you go about selecting your specializations?
So I had a sorry, just hold. So I had a perfect example to your questions because I was offered actually PGDM finance, and actually I took it. And then in the second year I changed to PGDM. The journey was like that. That I wanted the day one when I started my MBA, I wanted to get into a investment banking role because that time that was a hype. So I used to only read in the newspapers and articles, and I thought like, okay, let's do finance. I want to get into investment banking side and all. But then, as Rahul and Ridhima told that you start the first year, you have all the basic subjects, and I would definitely say that you learn that subject very deeply. Do not say anything. Do not skip any of the part. You learn it, and then you realize that what you need in the next year, and obviously engage with the professors. Because we have very good professors over there at the campus. You just speak to them, understand what now you intend to. Because the later once I learned all the subjects, then I later realized that okay, this is not my foray, and I moved into data analytics part. So then for doing, as Ridhima told, so for doing business analytics, that's why I changed from finance to PGDM general. But then one thing I'll tell you, in the corporate life right now, what I'm doing. So all the subjects are important. I'm taking care of digital marketing. Say I never learned digital marketing in I never could study with Dhananjay sir, but definitely what Dhananjay sir is right now teaching is those all subjects right now I'm implementing it in my corporate life. So investment banking, I missed out in studying because I moved into this in the general side, but definitely I had interacted with investment bankers also. The whole crux is like, do not like focus onto all these things. Work onto your areas that what you want to become. If you are not clear, at least study the subjects which you have been which you are taking it up, because definitely once you start learning, maybe somebody gets an aspiration in second semester itself, somebody gets post internship. So do not worry on to that. Whatever you are studying, each subject is important. You will definitely realize, because now down the lane, 7 years, I remember that what's the importance of ethics and corporate governance, because that's a very small and generic subject which everybody say, yaar isme kya hi hoga, matlab iska kya need hai. And I used to debate with Professor Srividya Raghavan. That time she was teaching me, and I used to get into a very heavy debate that, ma'am, understand you are teaching us ethics, and then I can see a Satyam scam. I can see a lot of scams across in the corporate. How does it correlate to? But then I realized nowadays that what is corporate governance and how important it is. So that's what I'm trying to say. Every subject which is being taught at the campus is important. Read out, understand it very deeply, because one or the other day, some or other day in the corporate life, you'll be implementing those subjects. So do not jump the gun that I want to be in a marketing side, I want to be only in finance, I want to be in only this side. Start the career as the first year takes up you to the right of all the subjects, make you understand, and then you understand that okay, if I have to build models, I have to have a more inclination towards stats. I want to get into analytics side. If I'm more good in accounting and finance and all those things, I want to go into PGDM finance, and definitely if you wish to become the marketing side, then. So my whole summary out of my career life is definitely that read each and every subject, because right now I have to revise whatever I've not read. Also, I'm now doing all the certification and reading all those things, whether it should be a product management, digital marketing, or whatnot.
So again, there is a very important point that has come from what Amit has shared. Do not fall for the hype. So had Amit fallen for the hype, probably he would have been lost in investment banking. Thanks, he did not fall. And my take on this particular point is, which I always tell students, is come with an open mind. And it's okay if you are confused कि sir मुझे क्या specialize करना है, that's okay. You are quite normal. I was also confused, and I'm sure all these three guys were also confused कि भाई क्या करना है. So it's quite okay if you are confused. Land upon campus, you'll interact with seniors, you'll interact with alumni, you'll interact with corporates, you'll interact with faculty, and trust me, 1 year down the line, lots of things will become very clear to you, very clear to you. And by the way, year 1, term 1, term 2, term 3 are all common courses. But when these guys are on campus, we did not have the term system, we had the semester system. So semester 1, semester 2 common. Same is the case with term 1, term 2, term 3 common, right? So being confused, having little bit of confusion, it's okay. So all those people who are writing to us, sir, I would like to shift from this to this. Let me make this particular point. It's possible that once you're on campus through swap, you can get what you want. And now IMT Hyderabad has a system where you can do measure in 2 areas. You can measure in marketing with operations. You can measure in finance with HR. You can do major and minor, because for you to measure in an area, you should have 6 electives, and you're supposed to study 12 electives in term 1, term 4, 5, and 6. So you can measure in 2 areas, 6 in one and 6 in other. You can have a measure by studying 6 and minor by studying 4 and 2 from other areas. But just because you can measure in 2 areas, do not try to do that. Then you're trying to stretch yourself too much. और एक आदमी मार्केटिंग में भी अच्छा हो सकता है और फाइनेंस में भी अच्छा हो सकता है, कुछ ज्यादा ही डिमांड हो जाएगा फिर. तो think about your specializations, and believe me, once you're on campus, lots of things will be clear to you, right? So any questions on that, any specific thing, guys, kindly post on the chat, right? Okay, Rahul, do you remember your 2 weeks of introductory module that you guys went through, and what was your experience, if you remember, which was called as the management orientation program?
No, please. Unfortunately, it's been a long while, but I'm unable to recall the same. I do remember, yes, in terms of what you also mentioned, in terms of the electives that we will be part of, right? That entire course book was given to us. Again, all of us in various
Your
sections,
handbook.
and then yeah. So that we went through, but again, there's a very little memory on the same, on those particular electives, if I have to call. Maybe Gunjan and Ridhima, if they want to just add on something.
Yeah. I definitely remember that MOP program was we had called CEOs as well, and that time it was great to interact. First time I actually had a listening, like I was listening live to MDCO experience. So that was a great time when we actually realized that this is how management line is, because coming out from a BTech background, so I had no understanding of what actually management is, but directly listening from them. And that is where to kickstart with, that was a program which I loved it.
Okay, do you see value? I mean, did you see value in the various clubs and committees which were on campus? And let me tell you guys, now many more clubs have come up. Like there's a club which has been set up where which has come up, which is called as Tasawwur, where students who are into ghazal and poetry reading and all are part of that club. When you guys were there, Pahel and all those which were there are all still there. So I'm sure you guys should have also been members of some clubs or some committees. Yes. So your experiences or your suggestions in terms of, if I'm on campus, should I join all the clubs and contribute nowhere, or should I select few clubs and be a more meaningful contributor there? Maybe Ridhima and then Amit and others.
So, my suggestion would be to, focus on a few clubs because as, Dhananjay
Yeah,
said,
you are a member of which club, Ridhima?
I was a part of drama club and media relations committee.
Oh,
Uh,
interesting.
so I think you can join 1 to 3 clubs maximum because if you join too many clubs, you'll be part of everything and you can't focus on anything at all, and you will not be able to, contribute meaningfully. So, for as a example, I can tell you, like from my personal experience, I was a part of the drama club where we used to enact, plays like Julius Caesar and all, and Macbeth. So I was always, fond of reading books, and I was fond of reading Shakespeare, and that club, provided me a platform to actually enjoy it in real life, and act those roles out. So that was a, very interesting experience for me. Other than that, I was a part of media relations committee, and we used to organize certain events and all, and that actually helped me in a couple of things. So, for example, how do you manage your time? How do you plan around things as a team? And these are like really important life lessons which you can add on to your kitty, and those are going to help you out when you venture into the corporate world.
Amit?
Yeah, so I was part of admissions team, media relations team, and SCOP. That was a placement committee. Aside that, I was a pioneer in when I don't know if still it is there or how it has been rebranded. So I started the analytics club along with the professors. So that time,
Insightix.
okay, that's
Insightix, it is there.
correct. Okay,
Professor
so
Sridhar was part of that.
yes. So initially, seed was put up in 2014, the time when we started. So that was the one which we started. But yes, definitely answering to one question which Dhananjay sir rightly put, that do not put your head in all the clubs. Try finding out what you wish to get into, because there will be definitely all club, and you will be given orientation about what all each club do, and to do a proper discuss this with your seniors, do a proper due diligence at what you want to become, and definitely what that club is providing. So then there are a lot of people that who actually join and discuss, and then later on then figure it out, okay, this is not my area, then definitely hop into another one. So that is done definitely, because nobody wishes to just join कर लिया तो अब नहीं छोड़ सकते, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. So definitely you get into that, understand that, and definitely then you move ahead. But obviously I would say that do not go beyond 2 to 3 clubs, because you have to give your heart and soul to that particular club as well, because this will be apart from studies, and study itself will take a lot of time. And then definitely this is also important, because that is one which gave me a lot of exposure. Placement committee and MRC, I would say media relations committee, these two committee actually helped me because they both have a very stringent entry process. I can remember that time. So we had to go.
It remains stringent even today.
Okay, so that time I had a very tough time getting into, but then I was relieved that once I got into, and then I had to do a lot of work inside that, and that gave the real exposure of the marketing, the first corporate exposure, I would say, because on the similar lines these clubs actually work. So I got a taste of that. I started working hard from then there itself, and from there I actually now whatever I am into, so I can relate each and every whatever I have done the task in these clubs, I can definitely relate into that. Now hopefully if I would have not done those work in those clubs, then things would have been tough for me, because the things what I'm doing right now is very much relatable, I can say, things which we done in the campus via these clubs.
Okay, Rahul, I guess you would have been part of the Synergy Club.
IMH, yeah. So we started IMHR in 2014. I don't know if it is still the same or the rebranded.
Yeah, I think IMHR has now been rechristened as Synergy.
All right. So we started that in 2014. So rightly, as my colleagues also mentioned. So I have another take, right? So if you are getting into finance, you are coming with the mindset that I want to join finance as a career option. Try to be in those clubs which are different to finance, so that you get a knowledge from all those areas, right? So let's say if I'm getting into HR, so I was part of, obviously I was part of the HR club that time. But as I mentioned, as a different take, you can be part of the operations club, you can be part of the entrepreneurship cell, right? Because from IMT, we have seen a lot of entrepreneurs like one right beside us, Ridhima as well, right? So you can be in different clubs. Again, do not go into each and every club. Be part of those wherein you can give a meaningful contribution. And again, you can get a meaningful gain out of those. Yes, you can be part of mess committee as much if obviously it will try to simplify lives of many others on the campus. But in terms of the
So
knowledge base, I would.
Rahul, just one moment. Since you talked about mess committee, when you guys were there, there was a very important member of the mess committee, very hard bargainer
Padmanabh,
in the mess committee, Padmanabh.
Padmanabh Upadhyay, PD.
And he has said very tough things to follow for others.
But sir, that helped us. That helped us. We had a
Right, that helped us.
full team.
No, one day I met him in the corridors and he said कि पद्मनाभ क्या भाई तुम इतना वो कर रहे हो तो सर आप छोड़िए सर खाना कैसे बनवाना है और क्या बनवाना है हमें पता है and
So
he just
one interesting thing, me, Gunjan, and PD, we all work together in Canada HSBC. Again, that relationship continues. PD is still there in Canada HSBC along with Amit.
Yeah.
So
Is
that's
that
the
Yeah.
kind of alumni network or the relationship, again, just to emphasize on that point.
somebody is asking, I think Rodrish is asking, is there a music club? I don't think there's a
So
music club.
I was part of
Yeah.
Antragna. That was the
Yeah,
cultural club
Dragons
of
there.
Anti-Hyderabad.
हाँ, so
That covers all your music, all your dancing activities, any event that is taking place. Again, it goes very big. We have seen 2 days cultural fest having in the campus. Again, a periodos is something, again, a sports one, wherein a 2 to 1 week program entirely takes place on campus, wherein other campuses also takes part, like ISB, uh, other campuses of Hyderabad, other alumni campuses like IMT Nagpur, IMT Ghaziabad, there are teams who are hosted on the campus. So it's a very big event, and it has grown big now since the days we have managed.
yeah, so many clubs have been added. I think now, if I'm not wrong, there are about 12 clubs, and those 5 or 6 committees which were there are still there. There's a new committee which is called as the Student Council, so which is the apex body of the students, and students take a lot of pride in becoming member of the Student Council. So I think there is a music club certainly, which is not called as a music club, but that's called as the cultural club. Okay. Before I go to Ridhima, I have a very specific question for Ridhima. Shubham has asked us a question where he says, how can one become eligible for international student exchange program and is it included in the fee? So Shubham, you become eligible for international exchange program with our partner institutions. And thanks to IMT Ghaziabad, because we are the same group, we can also leverage on 52 plus partnerships that we have with our international partners. Now, this partnership means that if you are going to Audencia Business School in France, you can spend that particular term there on their campus. You only need to pay for your tickets and your visa, or your campus fee. You are not supposed to pay anything because you are part of the exchange, right? So exchange program is a very integral and a very important part as far as the student life is concerned at IMT Hyderabad. But because there was pandemic last 2 years, the exchange could not take place. So we had the global immersion program, where we invited the faculty members from these partner institutions to conduct workshops on certain very important themes. Right? I hope Shubham, this answers your question. Okay, Ridhima, the question for you is, I will not say the question. In fact, I wanted to ask this to you. See, many people say that I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to become an entrepreneur, but that does not happen. So when did you take a call that, or when did you decide that, okay, I mean, I'm not going to work for this company. It's time that I start. And let me, I mean, also tell us who is your co-founder? Who have you co-founded this company with?
Sure. So yeah, I'll talk a bit about my journey and how I took the entrepreneurial plunge. So I started my career working in a small startup first of all, and there I donned many hats. I was involved in number crunching. I was involved in extracting out insights from the data, and I was also involved in managing the stakeholders' expectations. Talking to end customers, and some of them were like really big CPG clients like P&G and Unilever and all. And the best part about that job was that, I was working directly with the CEO and he was more like a mentor. That's what, I realized working with him. And he never, held me back. He, always used to push me and make me go an extra mile. So that was, where I thought that I maybe, someday I could be in his shoes and I could start my own company. And then I went on to join a bigger firm. So I have an experience of, working in a small firm with about 60 employees, and I have an experience of working with a bigger firm which has about, 60,000 employees as well. And adding both the experiences, I could realize that working in a small startup was the role I was getting well nourished from. And when I realized working with different customers and stakeholders, and there's a huge untapped potential for data science solutions, and data science was just coming up. And I was not there only, because it was a hyped up space, but since I was already interested in, number crunching, mathematics, and mixing it up with marketing, I realized that this is, the field I'm like really passionate about. And I ended up, starting Ariva Labs with my co-founder. So I met my co-founder at one of the previous organizations where I was working, and we were sharing plans on, how to go about in our careers, and that's how we thought maybe someday, we can also start our own firm. And like quite early on, during my fresh graduate days, I was bitten by the entrepreneurial bug. I got an opportunity to, meet Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. I was attending a conference on women entrepreneurship at the New Delhi University, and I met her and I took her autograph. And that was like a really, one big inspirational moment for me, to see how, she started her own company from a garage in Bangalore, and now it's a billion-dollar company.
Interesting, and I must say commendable. I mean, step that you have taken, because there are people who just keep thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, and I don't think anybody can teach somebody to become an entrepreneur. Am I right, Ridhima? It just happens to you.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, you learn on the go, and I mean, as an entrepreneur, you do make mistakes, and but every mistake is a new learning for you.
Okay, so guys, we're in the last half an hour of the interaction. Any questions for these alumni, kindly post in the chat. Amit, I'd like you to share your views. How did you become the right hand man? And on a very serious note, what are the skill sets that one has to work on so that you get noticed? Or I mean, do I need to really be only conscious of that, or just keep doing my work, and one day or the other I am going to be noted for what I've been doing?
Okay. Right question, sir. This is a lot of actually a lot of people have been asking about this. So how did it happen for me? So the time I joined with the first company from the campus, so I was a bit lucky that at least so how I'll tell you so that you guys can connect.
So Amit, you had joined SBI Life, right?
Yeah, I joined SBI Life from the
अच्छा
campus.
अमित जस्ट होल्ड करो एक मिनट. SBI Life का ना मुझे एक स्टोरी याद है, पता नहीं आप लोगों को याद है कि नहीं याद है. So SBI Life was coming to campus, and Professor Iyer was there, and SBI Life had come to the campus. They wanted to address the batch, and Professor Iyer comes and says कि यार वहाँ पे बैच एड्रेस में सिर्फ 15 बच्चे बैठे हुए हैं. तो we went and found out कि भाई why so less number of people. So when we went there, people said कि सर हम यहाँ पे MBA करने आए हैं इंश्योरेंस कंपनी ज्वाइन करने के लिए, हमें नहीं करना है. और पद्मनाभ का आवाज सबसे ज़्यादा था. तो then we did a batch address, and that 15 number went to 90. And I think SBI Life, if I'm not wrong, hired about 9 people from Amit's batch. And interestingly, all those 9 guys are doing very well in their career. Amit started as an assistant manager business strategy. Amit is now AVP. Yesterday we had Prakhar Maheshwari also, who started as assistant manager, and he's into senior consulting with Infosys. And there are many other people.
Yes,
So do not jump to conclusions in terms of what role is being offered to you, because with your experience and lack of experience, you actually have no idea where that particular career will take you. Yeah, Amit, continue with your point.
So I'll just add on to what Dhananjay sir said. So it was actually true. A lot of people were saying that this, that, but then as a scope, what I did was I portrayed our company, our college guys in a very nice way, like in the sense we say that how we are actually the diaspora is, and then the HR was very much interested in our batch. Then later on, the ones they started knowing that what all the pedagogy actually goes on to the 12 to 14 weeks internship program and all those things, and people started become as the batch address happened by the professor as well, and the people also got interested. So it was the highest number whenever SBI Life took from any of the campus. And not only that, they offered very discreet roles. It means they never opened for strategy. They never opened for digital product management, and there are different roles. So they opened those roles for us, which they kept it for some other campuses. But then they saw that right now, this time we will have. So that time I was lucky that I ported it, and finally I got it. So never shy away from asking also. Actually, I asked this particular role, say if you can offer me a strategy, I will be very much working. I very much love to work in that particular role. And eventually I got that opportunity in the company. And sir, answering to the next question, which is that how to become right. And so what had happened is the time when I got into SB Life, I was only focusing on what that I need to work on to. So I engaged with my first reporting was vice president strategy. And I had a good, that initial few months itself, the first 6 months, I did my work, whatever I was assigned to, in a very excellent manner. So my chief strategy officer called me up and asked for me further that if I can scale up and I can get some of the new projects as well, if I can do that. And I delivered it very nicely. So that is the one place where it started getting a lot of new things, new projects, and where a company also started putting up a lot of confidence onto me. And that actually scaled up in the next 2 years. I got the IPO opportunity and whatnot. So the digital transformation was happening. I was given that project with a consulting company. So there are a lot of key projects which I was happy to work on to. And that was the one exposure which I wanted. And that was a stepping stone. The first step was taken. From there, I actually started participating with the company in a different platform, the way Rhythm was telling that she met Kiran. Kiran is a Biocon MD and CEO. So similarly, I also was into different seminars and all. In one of them only, I got noticed by our MD CEO, and eventually he connected with me, and then we had a discussion in around, and I was handpicked by him into the current company which I am working into. And this is how my journey stepped in. So I gave them that confidence that definitely I can work onto as like a right hand, and I will definitely deliver it. But guys, I will tell you, so that was not so simple. My CEO works around 17 hours, 18 hours, and just working along with him, I have to also quickly catch up with him. So I never complained that thing that I have to work 9 to 5, 9 to 6. I stressed myself. And then definitely I had not much of knowledge because I definitely have not studied all the subjects. But I quickly, on the weekends, I studied those subjects, learned along with him. And so whatever it was demanded in the corporate, I actually coped up with him. And that grew up confidence with the CEO. And that is how he started giving up more opportunities to me. So this is how it happened for me, sir. And that is how I started getting promotions.
I would like to take this opportunity to just add on to this. To become a right man, because I have worked with Gunjan, and obviously I have been monitoring his performance and giving that passing that word. How he became a right man was not one. Obviously, one was his pedagogy that he was coming in, right? He was handpicked and all those stuff. But a very greater thing that one needs one needs to learn is the hard work and to just step in at the right time when the company needs the most. And I have seen Gunjan performing exceptionally well when nobody stepped in, and he was the one without knowledge to just enter into those fields, into those areas, and delivered, right? Without the knowledge, learning on its own. That's how he stands today as a very successful professional, right? It has nothing to do that we should know everything in advance. It is the willingness that one needs to know about, right? Which Amit has potentially, like from the day one, he has been into those clubs, right? Wherein he was maintaining those kind of relationships until now. He stands true to his knowledge, right? Even if he doesn't know, he steps into those waters and get it solved.
So guys, take initiatives. राइट हैंड बनने के लिए और कुछ नहीं करना पड़ता. हार्ड वर्क, टेक इनिशिएटिव्स एंड बी प्रिपेयर्ड टू गो दैट एक्स्ट्रा माइल. अमित आपके सामने एग्जांपल है. मैं आपको और एक एग्जांपल दूंगा जो कि आप लोग बहुत अच्छा रिलेट कर पाओगे. वी ऑल नो दैट अमित शाह इज नंबर 2 in BJP. But who thought that BJP will end up winning 74 seats in the 2014 elections? Thanks to Amit Shah and the time he spent for 3 years there when nobody was prepared to go to UP. So maybe Amit has taken up projects, has done things which probably people are not willing to take for the lack of clarity and all. So simple fact of the matter is, भाई अगर आप काम करोगे, हार्ड वर्क करोगे तो राइट हैंड, लेफ्ट हैंड सब कुछ बन सकते हो, और आप खुद भी सीईओ बन सकते हो.
Just to add, sir, and after that, the name fame actually is spread out. You need not to say that. And after that, two of the CEOs from a bigger company contacted me after that, and I have been now getting a lot of good calls from a lot of good corporate houses. So I feel very proud about that. That I never said no. I always took the initiatives which we wanted, and never say to learning. And I always see that a lot of people call me and ask me, mainly the students, say they come with a preconceived notion. Sir, मुझे यहाँ ही जाना, मुझे management consulting में जाना है. My target is to join McKinsey. How should I get into that? So I would definitely say, please do not make a preconceived notion. Have it a very open-minded thought, and then from there start learning. Whatever you get an opportunity, exploit that, and one day definitely you will shine.
Very interesting point. Okay, there's an interesting question from Yugant Sharma. You guys try answering this and then I'll answer this. Okay, so the question is, how much time it takes to recover the amount I spent on my 2 years MBA program? So this is from Yugant. For you guys information, Amit जब थे campus में और जब रिधिमा थी, I think fee was 12 lakhs if I'm right. The fee remains 12 lakhs. So IMT Hyderabad is unlike any other institution. So our fee remains 12.03 lakhs. Though the brand and the institution has grown by leaps and bounds. Can I recover my money in 2 years MBA program? First, let the alumni answer, and then I'll share my point of view on that. I'm not going to call anybody. I mean, randomly, just whoever wants to answer this.
I believe Rahul should start first, being HR.
So guys, definitely, please do not think about ROI is one metric in your education. I would say to stay away from, right? This is not a fees that you are incurring. This is an investment that you are making for your future, right? I made that investment on myself, be it a loan, be it your parents' money, right? Do not think as a ROI, how much will I make out in the next 2 years? Would I be able to recover? Some of you will become entrepreneurs, right? The journey will be tough, but this kind of investment that you are doing it on yourselves, this is going to grow bigger, right? For me, somebody who has been in the service industry, who has not tried his or her hands on entrepreneurship, right? Obviously, again, on a very monetary basic terms, you can recover your amount, but this is the amount you should not recover. This is an investment. Please do not think of it as a matrice, right? Being into analytics, we always try for an matrices, but this is the one which I will like you to stay away from, right? Please do not think it as a cost. Think of it as an asset or an investment on yourself. That's it.
So just add on, I'll just say a lot of people, why they talk about this, because they definitely read blogs across, they go to a different site and everybody is talking about ROI and all those things. But one thing I'll tell you, in my experience, I never thought of this. And then I must say that my ROI was very less. Very quickly, I had overturned that. And it's basically, it's on to you. So this question should be answered by you, that how you choose your career and make your ROI things and make your monetary benefits. So I didn't make any switches, like hardly I made only one switch post MBA. But then I can definitely say the salary which I started, I've been like 4 or 5 times in salary. So it's begin on the what you start with it and how do you make it to your side. Like, so do not have a preconceived notion of work hard and work to your goals, that you have made a short time goal or a medium term goal and try achieving it. Never always think that preconceived कि हाँ सर मुझे 15 lakh 10 lakh इतनी की salary चाहिए, मुझे ऐसी ही चाहिए, यही चाहिए. So do not go into that mode. And that's why where the ROI thing in the mind comes out, because obviously you are taking loan, you are taking investing on something, but definitely invest on your learning. If your learning is very good now, definitely I'll tell you these ROIs will come down to 6 months, come down to 1 year. So it's just on to you. That's my take, I believe. What's your rhythm?
Yeah, so my take on it is, I'll talk in terms of marketing jargons. When we talk about ROI, I mean, there are two types of ROI. So one is the short-term ROI and one is the long-term ROI. So if you talk about short-term ROI, which I think that's what people are talking about, it, how can they recoup the money which they've spent on their fee? That's what people usually talk about. That how can they, get it back within the next 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. But as Rahul said, that you should think of it as an investment, and it's going to give you much higher returns on a longer run. Do not think of it that you will be able to double your salary and all within the next 6 months or 1 year, but rather focus on how you can shape up your career for a longer game. You should be in it for the longer game and not just for recouping your money back and getting your ROI. So that's what my advice is. And focus on your building up your skills. I think that's what will help you in the career.
And guys, I'll tell you where this question comes from. This most of these coaching institutions are there. What they do is they rank institutions on ROI. Sadly, that's happening, and this is where these kind of questions come. But I have just a simple answer for that. You're asking, I mean, your simple point is, I'm paying 12 lakhs. What am I going to get in terms of placement? But how do you assign value to the connection that Amit and Rahul have established over a period of time? What value are you going to attach to what Amit has gained by working with SBI Life or with some other company? The value that Ridhima has got by working with somebody, and then in the process met somebody from IMT Ghaziabad. So certain things you just can't assign value. And I'm glad Rahul brought this point that this is not ROI. This is, you should look at this as your investment for life. In Bharat mein, I mean, at the sound of sounding cliche and preachy, हमारे यहाँ सरस्वती की कोई वैल्यू नहीं होती है. तो एंड अगर कोई मेरे से क्वेश्चन पूछे कि सर मैं आपको 12 लाख रुपया दे रहा हूं, आप मुझे कितने लाख का प्लेसमेंट दोगे, तो मैं उसे कहूंगा हम हमारा प्रोग्राम ज्वाइन मत करिए. We will get companies for you. And interestingly, if I can just share this information, this year IMT Hyderabad has placed all the students, and when I say all, I mean all, with 9.6 lakhs as average package, highest being 23.5. If somebody says ki I'll come on campus and will you get me 23.5, my answer is no. What I can do for you is I will get companies like which came to this campus this year, Morgan Stanley, I'll get Goldman Sachs, I'll get Bain and Company. And these companies have not come. When Amit was there, these companies were not coming. When Ridhima was there, this company was unheard of. But these companies have come to the campus this year. Infosys visited IMT Hyderabad 2 times. Amazon has come thrice. I'm sure when these guys were there, these companies were not coming. So as campuses like IMT Hyderabad evolved and matured, these things are quite, going to happen in a natural process. But if I start looking at it कि मतलब मैंने 12 लाख दिया, आप मेरे को पैकेज कितना का दोगे, I think this is a very wrong way of looking at a program where you are investing for your corporate and your career growth. Okay. This is an interesting question. I think I'll answer this. Anirban Chaudhary is asking, he's going to take leave without pay from his current employer. So is he eligible to sit for placement? So Anirban, see, when a student joins my campus, in whatever nature you are coming from your previous employer has nothing to do with us. You are like any other student. So whatever is eligible for a student A or whatever is applicable for student A is also applicable for student B. Whether you are on lean or you are LWP, that is no way connected to us because we have nothing to do with your company, right? And this year onwards, which has already happened for the current batch, we have started a dual offer policy. So what is this dual offer policy? Now when Ridhima's batch was there or Rahul's batch was there, if these guys get placed, whether they like or they don't like, they have to stick with that placement. Amit के बैच में बहुत सारे लोग थे जिसको SBI Life पसंद नहीं था, but they had to stick with it because the process was once you are placed, you are out of placement. This year onwards, what you have started doing is, in case you are placed and a company comes which is giving you a better package than what you are getting, you are eligible for sit for that placement. And if you crack it, then you are not supposed to join the previous company, you can join this company. And this has happened with more than 45 students this year. And this dual offer policy is going to continue. Okay. Yugan Sharma says that it seems he has heard that students compete against each other. Is it true? See, Yugan, even if you have not heard, I think you should take it for granted that people will compete. I am going to compete with Amit and Amit will be competing with me. Though I am his...
Also it happens, sir.
Come again?
I'm saying in the corporate itself, that also happened. So
You have to be ready.
And how can there not be competition? Rahul can probably throw some light.
Competition will make only things healthy for you,
Correct.
right? Then only you will get superior. What we are today is because of that competition, right? Even though we work in teams, but there has to be a healthy competition. And when you are in the student life, obviously this will takes you places. And there is nothing wrong about having a healthy competition.
And just adding to, if you are in the consulting line, definitely you will be having a very important key matrices, that is a competition benchmarking. You have to do competition benchmarking whichever sector or whichever area you are into, and that is so you cannot be without competition. So it's good that if you are understanding and hearing that, so that you are getting competed with your peers. So that always remains. If you become an entrepreneur, the Rhythma would be having a competition with the other same level companies or the other going companies. So accordingly, it's the competition is everywhere, and that definitely helps you. You will realize it later.
And
Yeah,
how
so
can
when
you?
you have to grow, you have to come out of your comfort zone, and that involves, competing with people, and that involves, competing with other bigger brands also. I can say that, that's the part of my job.
And how can we forget Charles Darwin when he very clearly says survival is all about who can compete and who can survive. So the fittest survives, right? And guys, let me tell you, corporate world is really very competitive. जो आपके सामने आपके साथ आपको हंस हंस के बात कर रहा है, हो सकता है वो आपका सबसे बड़ा कॉम्पिटिटर हो, और ये दोनों लोग जो मुस्कुरा रहे हैं इनको बिल्कुल पता है. तो ये फैक्ट ऑफ लाइफ है. ओके. Okay, I think we are almost to the last 10 minutes. There could be one or two more questions. Probably I'd like you guys to just throw some light on this. Classes are taken up and all. So did you guys get exposed? I'm sure you guys would have got exposed to this practitioner sessions and leadership series and all. So any experience that you'd like to share on that particular part? Anybody?
I'll go first. So two things here I would like definitely about my studies at IMT. One is definitely the practitioner session and the internship program of 12 to 14 weeks. I hope so still it is there the way same way.
Yeah.
14 weeks, yeah. So these two actually were the first thing which I actually got connected with the corporate, because that is how the corporate sessions, the practitioner. So I believe that 30% is being taught by the practitioner. I don't know the current percentage, but
no. So now it has changed because the number of sessions are 20. So it is now 4 to 5 sessions. What used to be 8 sessions for your batch?
Okay, that's great. So the point is that was the time when we actually interacted with the very good corporates who were there when they actually came into the campus, gave sessions, gave the GANs, that how exactly they are doing into this particular. So you can relate your subjects, you can relate those theories, that how it is being implicated in the real corporate world. That is one. And definitely the second point which I was mentioning, the internship program. So that helped me a lot because the 14 weeks program is a really decent one, because 3 months I was into the corporate side. And actually I started a bit early informally, like because the time when I got selected, the company started engaging with in a brief way. So that actually gave me a good exposure to start with, that how things are actually happening, because in the first year whatever I learned, I can definitely relate to. And the next time when I came out after the internship, I was much mature enough to understand things and to go to the next level, which is in the second year, a lot of other subjects coming, which is more reality to your corporate life. So these two things which I really love, because I do not find in the other campuses that these are things happening very often. This is what which I liked about IMT.
Okay. Ridhima, you can add your view, and then Rahul, we have got a question for you. Because you are the HR guy, you should answer this. But first, Ridhima, let Ridhima complete. Yeah, Ridhima.
Yeah, so from my personal experience, these practice sessions really helped a lot. In fact, as I mentioned that, analytics and data science were just coming up, and, the college professors could organize sessions, especially related to analytics, and they invited certain practitioners who were very renowned in the industry. And in fact, that's how I got my first job. So the practitioner who came as an analytics professor, as a visiting professor to IMT, I got really intrigued by what are the works which their company does, and they were into marketing analytics. So I, just ended up talking to that professor directly, the visiting professor, and told him that, I'm interested in this kind of work. And then I happened to speak with, our other analytics professors. I think Dasya sir was there, managing predictive analytics that time. And, that's how I got my first job. So I think, those sessions really help you, get into the corporate world.
Okay. Okay, Rahul, Shubham is asking us, what do companies look for in a candidate when they are hiring that candidate? Is it academics or is it past work experience or other parameters?
Shubham and all of you. So when you are in the corporate world, right, you are starting afresh. This has nothing to do with your prior experience, right? Yes, there is a preference when we are coming to campuses that we would prefer somebody with a tech background. Again, it depends on specific roles. Like Amit and Ridhima are currently working in somebody of a program manager wherein you require some technical knowledge as well and the management skills, or somebody in a data scientist role. So, right, these kind of things helps when you have a prior work experience. But really, when we are coming to campuses, there is a set mindset that you are a fresh, you are starting with a clean slate. We try to focus on your internship experience. That is one, right? How much deeper have you dwelled into those internships? I know from personal experiences and through my colleagues that internships have become a matter of joke, right? You intern with sometimes with your family friends, with your companies where you know, and then you just make a fun of it of those 2 months and 3 months of that learning. But we really emphasize on those internship experience. That is one. Second, obviously, every role or again, certain companies come with a certain CGPA benchmark, right? Certain companies come with a benchmark that we do not want students or we want students above 8 CGPA or 7 CGPA. So that's how your competition will come in play, right? That's how that healthy competition will make you stronger to score big. Uh, Third thing is your personality, how much able you are able to explain and how much passionate you are about the company. So whenever in the next 2 years a company comes to you or a company is entering your campus, please try to read about the company. It shows your passion. That's all we are looking for. We are not looking for somebody with the experience since you are graduating. It's a wrong phenomena which is happening all across on LinkedIn that there is a job opportunity with 5 years of experience and I'm looking for somebody with 10 years of experience. Nothing of that sort. We know you are in campus, you are coming with a zero experience, but be passionate towards the company that is coming for. Be passionate towards the project or the internship experience, right? Read it through 10 times, 15 times. And thirdly, yes, CGPA will matter, at least for some of the who's and who of India and abroad, like the world. I would be very frank on those lines.
Interesting. So now I mean we are almost at the end of this particular interaction. I would like starting with Ridhima, then Amit and Rahul, to share your parting remarks for students who are on the verge of starting their management education career or management education program. What will be your short, crisp parting remark, starting with Ridhima?
Yeah, so my advice would be always be curious. You should have an insatiable hunger to learn. Be a lifelong learner. There is no age, to stop learning. And I can tell that from my personal experience. Coming from a MBA background, I ended up, learning how to code a bit. I ended up, understanding some analytics subjects which were a bit stats heavy during the college. So always be curious to learn, and that's what is going to propel your career further.
Okay. Amit?
Yeah, I would say again, I reiterate the same point that do not come with a preconceived notion. So a lot of people definitely come when I have just come out from coding. I will never get into that. As Ridhima told me, so data analytics may you have to learn Python, you have to learn R. So wo sab mein you have to again go get into the coding side. So do not get up into a preconceived notion. I have to get this, I have to get that. So be always open to learning. Obviously, upgrade your skill sets. Never think that ho gaya itna, I have to read only 5 subjects, that's it, I have excelled in that these 5 subjects, I'm done. No, that is not. It's a very high competitive world across wherever you go. I would say any of the campuses, but definitely these are the few mantras. If you keep on carrying it, it doesn't matter, so you will definitely excel in the world.
Rahul.
So I will not repeat what my colleagues have repeated already. As an HR guy, I would say make relationship stronger, right? Right from the start. Uh, Three of us are in front of you. You can connect with us on LinkedIn, even your alumni, right? And you have indeed made a right choice to be associated with the brand IMT, I would say, irrespective of the campus, right? It's a brand IMT that you should count upon. It's the kind of curriculum that you should count upon. And all the best, guys. In case of there is any query, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Amit, Ridhima, right? We are there to help you sail through, right? But yes, IMT as a brand would be a very good choice for your career move. And all the best.
Right. So I don't think we need to say that what brand IMT will do, because there are three examples in front of you, and there are not only three, there are many more examples you would get to see of what brand IMT would do to a student, and what kind of students excel and do well, I mean, these kind of campuses. So let me extend my thanks to Ridhima, Amit and Rahul. You guys have taken time out of your schedule and joined this interaction, and 1.5 hours of interaction. It has been amazing. And I'm sure the students who have joined this particular interaction and others who are going to listen to the recordings are going to benefit a lot. At least this will make them understand what are the areas they need to focus on, and if they focus on those areas, how are they going to make their career. And I'm sure this particular session has also helped in dispelling a lot of doubts on a return on investments and points related to that. And we will end the session by saying that there is no easy ride, nothing comes easy. आपको struggle, hard work, मेहनत करना पड़ेगा, and that particular thing starts from today. So don't wait for 3 months कि भाई 3 महीने के बाद कैंपस में जाऊंगा तो काम चालू होगा. Maybe you can start preparing right now. Start reading business newspapers, start trying to understand Excel. Forget about big data analytics. I think Excel itself is a great data analytical tool. मुझे तो Excel का 10% भी नहीं आता है, और जिस दिन मुझे 100% आ जाएगा ना, I would call myself as a data analytics guy. With if I mean, Ridhima may take objection to this, but I would certainly call myself as a data analytics guy. So start
So I'm a
developing.
big fan of Excel myself. I think there are a lot of things which we can do in Excel itself.
Exactly. So spend your time understanding business news. Things like why the crude oil price is going to go down because of war in Russia and Ukraine should now be a thing of botheration to you. You cannot say कि भाई मुझे क्या करना है, तो आप बिजनेस मैन में मत पढ़िए फिर, ठीक है ना. और आरबीआई गवर्नर ने क्या किया और एसबीआई ने क्या किया, किस कंपनी का मर्जर हुआ. I'm hearing murmurs of Swiggy into some tie-up with some company. These things should become of your interest. Somebody is saying I'm going to deliver food to your home in 10 minutes. There are a lot of repercussions. There are a lot of things as far as brand is concerned. कि वो 10 मिनट possible होगा या नहीं होगा. So start developing these kind of thoughts and ideas कि भाई ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. And then land up on campus, maybe our campus, maybe any other campus, and you are going to have great life, provided you are prepared to do what these three people have shared with you. So thank you all for joining the session. And again, let me extend my thanks to Ridhima again, Amit and Rahul. You guys have been great, and you have shared your views in a very frank manner, and that's going to be of great help to the students.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank
thanks,
you.
sir, for having us. It was great
Thanks,
interacting with the students, and yeah, I wish you all the best.
All the best to you guys.
All the best,
Thank you.
guys.
Right, guys. So see you all. Right. Thank you for joining.